Good morning. That was a little stressful. My name is Jeff Fritz. Let's try that again. My name is Jeff Fritz. It is Saturday, May 12th, 2018. Welcome back to my live stream. It's been a little stressful this morning, let me tell you. I've been trying to get I had the studio all put back together here, the home studio unloaded, put back together with about an hour to go before we were supposed to get started, and of course, Windows updates happened, and nothing came back properly at all. Docker still isn't running properly, and you know how I feel about Docker for Windows. And I can demonstrate with Docker for Windows. It is not terribly reliable. Good morning, chat room. Aspiring DevOps guru, Philippe and John, Joe Bun out there. Thank you for joining me. Today's hat, so at Build 2018, they were giving out this Velcro hat. You can see it's got a little Velcro bit here. And they had all kinds of little patches you could stick on it. And this was the patch, there we go, that the the Windows subsystem for Linux was giving out at their booth. So grab that, and there we go. It's on that today. I have a couple other patches that some other folks were giving out. I like the wearing tux the best. Hey, Jeff, nice. A wild card hat. I know, right? Something different. So, I'm going to keep pushing Docker over here, and we'll see if we can get it to restart. But I really wish our friends at Docker would take a look at this. It's disturbing to me how unreliable it has been for me. So Build 2018 is over. We had lots and lots of really cool things that were announced that happened over there. I'm trying to pick a song to play here in the background. Let's see. Let's play Cyan. Let's get that kicked off and playing back there. There we go. And I'll just... That's better. Nice and chill, some groovy music to code by hanging back there. Let's see, let's bump it up a little. There we go. Let me know if that's too loud. Alright, so music to code by, of course, from our friend Carl Franklin. Strategically and scientifically designed to help you focus. Which, after fighting with my machines here this morning, is absolutely what I need to do, is focus. So, this was a tremendous week. This is my 6th show this week that I'm recording or streaming. Tremendous amount of content. None of those on Channel 9, none of those going out on official Microsoft channels, all brought to you live here on Twitch. It's important to me that I stay independent. I like having my editor control over the content that we have here. I should say stay with Docker 17.9.1. It's the only one that works for Joe Bun. Let's see here. This is frozen. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? And all of my scaling is messed up too on Windows. That makes me feel even better about things. Oh yeah. That's it. After all that great work that Scott and I did on Docker, on our bot, and we're not even going to be able to run it because Docker doesn't want to run for us. So good. So good. May is for Macs. I want to get back into our code, and I want to get back into it on the Mac. I was enjoying the development experience over there and working with Visual Studio Code, learning and building and running things on the Mac so that we have, we're outside of Windows. We're doing things a little bit differently, but still doing it with .NET and still very productive. I've been killing it this week. Thank you, Aspiring DevOps Guru. It was a lot. We did a lot of shows, right? We started with our friend Mads Torgerson on Tuesday. Had a great pair programming with a stream with him where we really looked at when to use some features, when not to use some features with C#, and we went through and we did that little bit of refactoring to show how we could use a local function. That's a C#, I think it was a 7.1 feature inside of our Stream Tools project. Later that day, we did a live share stream. We did a live stream using Visual Studio Live Share live from the Live Share Pavilion at Build. Confusing, but really fun. And then we did a stream on Wednesday with the ML.net team that are putting together all the cool features around machine learning that you can use. They had some problems with their demos, so we did a re-record on Thursday afternoon. But Thursday morning, we started with Scott Kate, and we looked at the Vision API from Azure. Hacking TV, thanks so much for the host. I appreciate that. I'm not sure why my alert notifications are disappearing so quickly. Let's head over to our code. Here we are inside of TweetDeck. I was tweeting out the announcement that we were getting started here. I just want to pop over to Streamlabs, take a look at our configuration. Sorry I could not meet you in person at Build, but all the time I saw you were either organizing something with speakers or I was streaming. Oh, no problem, Tigeron. You should have wandered over, interrupted. Absolutely. I've always got time for you folks. That's never a question. Please, if you see me somewhere, make sure you stop by, say hello. I absolutely want to see you. I absolutely want to connect with you and meet you, learn what's going on, put a face to the text here in the chat room. Now that's annoying. My chat room just completely disappeared. How's that work? How does that work? I mean, come on. Just completely shut down. Watched the Future C# talk with Mads. Learned about the in keyword for value types. Yes. Coding with Luce. Oh, it was great to meet you at Build as well. And yes, it's been a long week. We've been very productive, very busy here. And I think it's been a lot of fun too. Unlimited media sharing. Let's see here. Why are my alerts not appearing and staying appeared here? I'm not sure, but media sharing allows donors to... No, I don't want that. Well, it looks like they changed up the alert box is what it looks like happened here, huh? Follows. Let's see here. There's my Steve configuration. Alert duration, 5 seconds. Right. So let's make sure Steve works here. Yeah, that's not bad. All right. And subscriptions should be about the same. Yeah. That was a host that we saw pop up. That looked fine. Yeah, I think we're all right. All right. Enough about that. And I can go away from there. There's my display. Yes, yes, yes. How the heck do I close this? No. There it is. Hopefully you'll be there next year. You know, Build is an interesting event in that it's more of an aspirational event. It's more about, here are the things that are coming soon. Here are the things that we think people are going to be interested in, and we want to hear customer feedback. We being Microsoft. We want to hear your feedback. We want to figure out exactly, if we're on the right path, right? We've got a project in front of us. We've got some things we want to do, and let's figure out if it makes sense to keep doing that. So let me start my terminal here. Zoom in a bit so that everybody can see what's going on in there. I'm going to maximize that guy. a little bit bigger. So among the things that we did at Build, is we announced ASP.NET Core release candidate. So ASP.NET Core 2.1 is now in release candidate mode. And this was really important for the ASP.NET team to push and be ready with this release candidate. We wanted to actually be able to release at Build, but you know what? The feedback we got, the bugs we were looking at, it just wasn't ready yet. And that's fine. You know, that's why we develop in the open. So that we can hear from you, so we can determine, you know, is this correct? Should we be releasing now or later? I've got two keyboards in front of me, and I'm bouncing back and forth between them, and it feels weird. I am on... Oh, this is the async chat client bits that we were working on with Bill. My caps is looking good. Well, thank you. Is that Lasagna Linart? Yes, right? This is, like I said, the Windows subsystem for Linux badge that they shared with me. Yeah, I think we're fine to commit this. I thought I already had. Let's actually change branches here, because what I'd like to do is I'd like to work on updating to ASP.NET Core 2.1 release candidate. I like the ref return. Yes. So you're right, John. One of the things that you saw from the C# team as part of Build was there's this focus on managing memory better with keywords, with framework capabilities that are integrated with the language, so that you can be a better steward of your memory. I think that makes sense for a lot of folks who haven't had to think of managing memory and just let the garbage collector do its thing. I'm pushing Docker here a little bit, see if it's going to run for me. No, it's not. No. I'm going to try running Docker for Windows again. See if I can get it to kick on, because I really enjoyed the work that we did with Scott getting our Vision API running. So while that's trying to start again, I will change over to my dev branch here. Local changes. You know what? Let's just commit it. AM. Updated to Signal, not Signal. SignalR 2. Let's call it Preview 2. There we go. Alright, let's try that git checkout again. There we are. Yep, we're behind, so let's go get updated. Please commit your changes or stash them. I thought we already did. Camranicus, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us here on the stream. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. For me, the other way around. See usage in some of our code, but have mixed feelings about local functions. Well, you know what, Tagaron? That's local functions. It's a feature, right? It's something that you don't have to use. But if there's a scenario where it makes sense, like Mads was showing us on Tuesday, it made sense to restrict the scope to only that method. And that was the reason why you would choose to use a local function, right? You don't want it to be available to the class. You only want it to be available to that one method. And I think it worked nicely. Not concerned only does not fit into my mind to have methods in methods. That's okay. You know what? And there's a lot of folks in the JavaScript community who are used to that type of approach. So this is a feature that, you know what, they're okay with. Let's see here. Why do I have this merge conflict? Yes, look at this. Ugh. My branch is behind by three commits and can be fast forwarded. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me here? Come on now. Use git pull to update my local branch. Yeah. Do it. You have changes to the following files that'll be overwritten. Git stash. All right. Try that again. No. No. Signaler updates are great, what my project's needed. Not 1.10 RC1 final. That's where we're going. That's what I want to do today. Yes. Following for a while on Twitter. Time to make it Twitch official. Hey, that's great. Thank you, Camranicus. I really appreciate that. Happy Arduino Day. Oh, no. I didn't see that. Is it Arduino Day? Only problem with build is I now have 152 sessions queued up to watch. And you know what, Smab? I might be able to help you with that. Probably need to do a git add a to stage all those changes and then commit. I think you're right. I don't... I don't like doing that. No, still doesn't like it. It doesn't like this entire file. You're kidding me. Let's start Visual Studio Code here and take a look-see. Visual Studio Code. Thank you. All right. Let's see what's going on here. A merge conflict. Maybe I get merge continue. No, I don't think we're there. Here it is. It literally it reeks of the line endings not being perfect, not being correct here. Let's see what we got here. One second. Some projects are having trouble loading. Really? Do tell. No, that's fine. Something looks funny there with my display. Formatting or line endings. I think that's exactly what it is, the line endings. I think that's what we're looking at here. What was this? Our friend Fierce Kittens is starting a live stream. And she's going to be a little bit crazy today, dressed as a chicken. That error pop-up is hard code. Yeah, it feels like it is. It really does. Nope, I'm not going to be able to do this easily today. All right. You're kidding. You're kidding. All right, there it goes. The display in front of me is literally shutting off and turning back on. Come on now. Come on. You're kidding. Yep. It's one of those days. What you can do is take the bottom half of the file, incoming changes, put in a new file, format both documents, then compare diff them with VS Code. Sounds like you got a good idea there. So what I'm going to do, I want the incoming. And I've got, see, look, I got the byte order markup top too. You've run into this situation before. Yeah, every time I see it, it makes me feel bad. What did you do to incur the anger of the demo gods? I'll tell you what I did. I've been a bad, bad man. Alright, let's see what we got here. I need to turn up the volume on those sound effects. That was terrible, that tuba sound effect. We need to make that louder. Can you even hear it? Reball the GPU. If I save this now, you're kidding, right? My control left and right keys aren't working. There it goes. All right. So let's add stream tools. No. There we go. Volume plus 20. Yeah, I need to do that on just the sound effects coming in. Let's see if I can grab that real quick. Let's see. Oh no. That should be better. No, it reset it. It reset the volume on me. Are you kidding? Better. Right now my trombone. Better. Even the applause. It reset the audio level on all of my settings. Alright, well that's better. Alright. Let's start over. So I'm adding configure services here. Good. Try this. I'm constantly recommitting these same files. Come on. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm all right now. What did I do to anger those demo gods? What, oh what indeed? I'm seeing artifacts coming through from my Mac again. Let's just take a quick look at that. Did I fix the diff before committing? Yeah, I thought I did. I thought we did. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's see. I think we're all right here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still seeing not using an Apple certified HDMI adapter. No, I am not. No, I am not. Yeah. Maybe I need to go get something that's more Apple specified. This is actually an adapter I got from our friends at CodeMash a few years ago. Well, there is my problem. Yeah. But the problem goes away every now and again. So the other thing that I'm looking at here is that my Windows machine, it won't let me flip it over to high power mode. There's a scaling issue that I'm running into, and it won't show me the entire power window. All right. We're back here, and it looks like everything's running properly. Let me do a control backtick to bring up the integrated terminal here in Visual Studio Code. I should be able to go down into Fritz Stream Tools and .NET Run. I'm just going to do a .NET build for right now, because I only want to make sure that it builds, and then I want to wander up here to my chatbot folder. I want to make sure that there's my image descriptor command, and I still have this image command here that somehow got inserted that has nothing in it. That's weird. Let's get rid of that. Let's see, that's up one. Go into the chatbot folder, commands, image. All right. I spend half my time just navigating folders. What? Oh. Apple does not always play well with the other kids in the yard. Yes. Isn't that the understatement of the week? I've noticed that the .NET community in general seems to care more about patterns, architecture, design than the Java community. I wonder why that is. That's a very good question. I think when you look at folks in the .NET community, there is a lot of push towards software craftsmanship and friends of ours like Steve Smith, Brendan Enrick, who runs DevChatter, the DevChatter stream here. They really talk about this and encourage that in their communities, and it's infectious. Because when you do practice good patterns, good design, good architecture, maintenance becomes a heck of a lot easier. And really, for a lot of folks that are in the .NET community, maintenance is that's a lot of our jobs when you're building an application for a living. Your job is to maintain the application. So of course you want to use and build something that's going to last and make it easier for you to use. Just saw Steve Smith give a talk 2 weeks ago about architecture with .NET Core, packed room. Oh, I bet. I can't speak for Java, but when I learned .NET, it was usually just part of the docs, talks by people, and training. Yeah, it's something that we want to encourage from the get-go, so that it is something that you're thinking about, something that you're doing naturally. Docker still hasn't started. I've rebooted it now here 3 times. It's still not starting. And I don't want to reboot my machine here because we're actually going to be writing some code. I'm going to bring up the Docker settings window. Feels like it was written by a bunch of hackers with how just dreadful it is. All right, keep an eye on that. I mean, literally, the application has been starting for an hour and a half. And it hasn't started, and it hasn't failed. That's a problem. Excellent quote there, SG Watt. Fall into the pit of success with .NET. That is absolutely what we want you to do. We want to make it as easy as possible to succeed with the .NET frameworks. Install Docker into a virtual XP machine. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll fix it. I can't wait to move to Core after I'm done rewriting the UI for my app. What type of app are you building, Camranicus? Is it a web app? Is it... Let me know. I want to take a look at .NET Core, not .NET Core, the ASP.NET Core 3 features here. Let me see. Let's open Firefox back up. I'm going to go out to blogs.msdnmicrosoft.com/webdev because the announcement about the ASP.NET Core 2.1 RC is out here. Here it is. And I'll scroll down here, and these are the very simple instructions to migrate an existing project to 2.1 RC. Open the CS Proj, change the value of the target framework element to NetCore App 2.1. I think we've already done that. Change the package reference elements to 2.10 RC1 final. I'm going to grab that here. And let's go back over. So the CS Proj file, right? That's our project file that has all the listings with the various packages that we're using, some information about what to compile, some other things to include as we publish, and what I'm going to focus on here is this bit right there. I'm going to replace that in both of these locations. Now I should be able to, let's see here. Yes, I'm fine. I was going to do the restore command there. Camranicus, it's a web app. Keep track of my games. Originally in Knockout, but almost done moving to React. I just did a talk about some of that experience at NDC, Minnesota. Lets you track release dates and organize games. Oh, neat. That's pretty cool. Oh, look, Docker finally crashed for me. Thanks. Send crash report, you turkey. And it's crashing and delivering the crash report. That's nice. Youthan. Hey, good morning. Welcome, Youthan. I appreciate you joining us here. Is ASP.NET Core the future? I am still working on ASP.NET, not even MVC. Do I need to learn ASP.NET Core ASAP? No, Youthan, you do not need to learn it as soon as possible. ASP.NET, and I believe you're referring to the web forms, right? The ASPX files. We are still building features for that. You're going to see another release next year for what's being referred to as ASP.NET 4.8. I'm actually in the midst of reviewing features that we're going to be delivering for that framework. I'm the program manager for web forms. So questions that you might have about that, I can certainly help you with here on stream. But it's .NET Core is certainly where we're pushing things towards. We want to decouple .NET from Windows so that we can version and release new features independently from the operating system. That also allows us to ship things for other operating systems like Mac and Linux just as easily. Yeah, Docker has now crashed in sending its crash report. That's sad. It always amazes me how much new developers to .NET and even lots of mid-level understand what the CS Proj is, how it works, and that it's actually instructions for MS Build. Yes, they do misunderstand it a little bit. These are simplified instructions for the, it's not the compiler so much as it's the build tool, right? The build tool includes things more than just the compiler to go and compile our C# and bundle together exactly what's inside of our application. Thank you for pointing that out, SG1. The Tall Pants. I was trying to find a good design to implement email notifications in response to domain events in a Java app. Googling around led me to .NET docs on designing and implementing domain events. Super ironic. Yes, domain events are a great way to do that. You publish an event to write a description of this event happened to a queue, to a service bus, and then somewhere on the other end you have an application that knows how to pull off that queue and or is listening on the service bus, and it appropriately takes action on that. DJA Snickers, hello from Kazakhstan. Welcome, DJA. Thank you so much for joining us. Gosh, it must be late at, is it early evening there, right? Probably 7, 8 p.m. Thanks for joining us there about dinner time, after dinner. Is that Adam Sugar? Totally missed me at Build. I was at the podcasters booth for a bit of the week. I was also at the Visual Studio Live Share booth. You can see my video about that both on YouTube and here on Twitch. And I was around on the floor around the .NET booths a little bit, not as frequently as I probably could have been. But I did give. So, Adam Sugar here. Let me dig into this a little bit. Thank you for reminding me. I was the proctor for our Intro to ASP.NET Core workshop, hosted by our friend John Galloway on Monday. It was the last session of the day of Monday at Build, and John did a great job writing up a workshop that took you on a tour of some of the new features here in ASP.NET Core 2.1. But unfortunately, the configuration of the virtual machines that was delivered for us, while we requested 16 gig of RAM, our vendor only delivered 2. 2? We couldn't reset the virtual machines after the workshop started without effectively having everybody restart. So we limped through it, but we had 1,000 people sign up for that workshop and only 100 seats. And that's a planning problem. That's a logistics planning problem that I've got to take back as one of the leaders of the Build event, and we've got to address if we're going to continue to do workshops and hands-on labs at our events. That's unacceptable in my mind. We offered a rerun, and we reran the workshop the next day. And John had to take off. He actually spoke. He didn't speak at Red Hat Conference. His daughter spoke at Red Hat Conference. His 12-year-old daughter was in the keynote at Red Hat's conference this week. You may have seen her. But I ended up doing the rerun of that workshop, and we only had seats for 60 that time. So here's what I'm going to do. And I spoke to John. I want to let Build breathe here for a week or two, and then we're going to rerun that workshop. None of the workshops from Build are available on YouTube or on the website, but we're going to make the ASP.NET Core workshop available from Build, available to you here on Twitch. We're going to rerun it in 2 weeks. It's not going to be at my normal time that we're streaming here, but we will rerun that, make it available to you, the source code. We're going to walk through it here together on stream. John will pair program with me, and we're going to answer your questions as we're going through and showing you the new feature there. Oversubscribed workshops, always a problem going back to the PDCs. Yes, which means we know about this problem and we still don't know how to address it. And that's really unacceptable to me, and I'm going to fix that. So you will see an announcement for when we're going to rerun that. I'll mark it as I think we can call it an event here on Twitch, and you'll be able to join. Adam Sugar says you wouldn't recommend Azure Event Grid. That's a great feature. You can certainly use Event Grid also. Queues and Service Bus are a little bit more generic terms for some features that Event Grid also supports. CS Proj is much more readable now with the VS 2017 project format. I think we just call it the modern project format is what we're calling it now, but there's actually a version number to the project format. Especially with large projects, I think being able to edit it without unloading the project makes the barrier to exploring it a lot lower. Agreed. And you know what? I think, Docker has now fully, just belly up. It's gone. Forget it. One of the design goals that we had with reformatting the project document here and introducing some of these new features and simplifying it was to make it easier and more readable for folks who weren't in Visual Studio. If you're not in Visual Studio, this is certainly a lot easier to work with to add and introduce features to your projects. my biggest takeaway from Build was how crazy Microsoft is positioning Azure in the IoT edge space. I think it's a real game changer. Even the Azure blockchain workbench was super interesting. It's making everything so seamless with these serverless applications. You know what? And right, is it Adam? Let me make sure I'm saying your name correctly. Azure is certainly very important to Microsoft. It's something that we've invested a lot of money in. We continue to invest a lot of money in. We want to make sure that cloud computing is easily accessible to everybody, almost like a utility. It should be right there and available with all kinds of great features to allow you to take advantage of big data, all that power that's available out there, and be able to explore new technologies quickly and easily as we light up those features in Azure. Are design patterns in architecture things that most developers learn academically, or do they pick them up as they go along? Is that a good thing? You know what, there's a number of good books on architecture that folks go out and get. I don't have... They're on my bookshelf behind me over there. Mob taught, that's a good way to put it. A lot of folks go to architecture workshops when they go to conferences and they learn about it. I'm planning to do an architecture workshop here on stream. Long form, 8-hour. Steve Smith will join us and talk about that. He's interested in joining as well. And participating in an architecture workshop, I will be recruiting some folks to join and help us with that. And Twitch on my phone is not updating. Nice. Let's see, what else do we have here? So there'll be a workshop on that. I have a workshop this Friday. We are 6 days away from our C# workshop here on stream for beginners to learn about C#. I'll be publishing all the details about that later today, Monday. You'll see the complete schedule of our speakers. We're even going to have an intro talk on Git. Mads will be back to show us all of the cool C# 7 features, C# 8 a little bit if we can get to it. And we're even going to have some friends join us to talk about span of T and memory of T. Vel is at Vila the Great. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Look forward to seeing you in the chat room there, Vila. And you're great. All right. Hello from South America. Oh, Scott's in South America today. Hey, Scott. Now I'm on the other side of chat again. Yes. Do I send events like this in a newsletter or just on my blog? I don't have a newsletter. I do have I do have an iCal out there that you can subscribe to. Let me see if I can pop that up real quick. I think if you go to the front of the stream, this is going to be weird. It's going to be like double me for a second. There we go. I paused it just in time here. All right. There is a calendar here. There's an online calendar you can subscribe to. Click through there and you'll get a list of here's when things are happening. But that's not a bad idea to start a newsletter. I do have some friends over at Code Project that are helping us out with the C# workshop this week. They're going to advertise that in their newsletter. They're sending 200,000 emails out about our workshop this week. Went to an event at the new MS Reactor in London. The Azure stuff looked really cool. Fantastic. Glad you like it. The Rusinovich intro to blockchain talk was awesome and totally packed. Yes, it was. That always happens with Mark Rusinovich. Great speaker. Channel Reader is a nice feature in ASP.NET Core SignalR. Okay, we had an interesting SF mesh demo in that talk. Using Die Hard as an example, it was quite fun. I figured it would be later, but I had another talk in the middle. Always a struggle with Mark because he gives good, thorough presentations. He does. I have to find a live stream of that talk to catch up. Everything's being published over on YouTube. Vila, hi from India. Good to see you. Good to see you, too. Thanks so much for joining us. I know it's 9:30 out there in Delhi. I appreciate you tuning in. It's a great site. Didn't know they were hosted there. Time to find the Blazor talk. We didn't have a Blazor talk at Build. Dan talked about .NET, .NET Core 2.1. We're gonna do some neat things here with Blazor coming up as well. My mom walked in on me watching Fierce Kitten stream. I switched it to adult content, easier to explain. That's funny. That's really funny. And I completely understand why, because our friend Fierce Kittens is trying to raise money for St. Jude, and one of her stunt streams that she's running here is she's doing a Just Dance. She's playing Just Dance wearing a chicken suit. That's out there. You definitely should make a weekly, bi-weekly newsletter. I'd subscribe in a heartbeat. Oh, well, thank you, Tall Pants. Do you have a sibling named Short Pants? Just curious. It is getting into summer here in my area. Sanderson was over by me at NDC. They'll be live soon at the NDC Vimeo account. Well, there you go. Very weird stream today over there with Fierce Kittens. I'm restarting Docker again. This is the 5th time. We'll see if it lands. So I updated everything to RC1 Final here, and now I've got some red under my follower hub. What's it upset here? So Visual Studio Code, when I'm using it with .NET, lights up and shows me, hey, there's a compiler error here. And the error it's telling me is there is no add async method here to add async capabilities. Add someone, what is this doing? Group names, groups, for each group, and the group names. Yeah, what do we got here? Okay. So that's telling me that there is an add async. What's our... let's see here. No suggestions. Add to group async. They changed the signature. Lorenz, 1987. Welcome. I appreciate the follow. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Forget that I just potted the diff, blurred feed. Huh? Wire lines 9 and 10 identical. Where do you see? All right. So for the RC, okay, they changed the name of that method. The rest of this, I don't see any other red code here. It looks okay. Yes, so Steve Sanderson went to NDC Minnesota. The Blazor is not an official .NET product, so we didn't want to have a talk about that at Build, where we're showcasing here's our new products, here's our new features, and we didn't want folks to think that that was something that's supported. So a lot of the Build talks are available on the Microsoft Developer channel on YouTube. Yes. Actually, it should be for all the .NET streamers like NoOpCat also. Well, NoOpCat, Suze Hinton, she's not a .NET streamer. She's a Microsoft streamer, but she prefers... she does a lot of JavaScript development. She's been getting into .NET a little bit, doing a little bit of UWP, I understand. And I need to catch up with her and see what we can do to collaborate there. And Docker is trying mightily to start, and it's not getting anywhere. Xamarin 3 showed some Wii. Oh, really? The UI project. Yeah. There's that's another interesting project. So the UI project that Janescu is referring to allows you to run XAML controls in the browser client side. So that's pretty interesting. For running ASP.NET Core on non-Windows OS, how Kestrel use proxy servers like in Windows? So Vila, what you can do if you're running Kestrel over on probably a Linux server, you can actually proxy it using Nginx or Apache. There's some great instructions out there in the docs. Let's open a new tab here. Docs, Microsoft. And if I go ASP.NET, and if I search for now let's search for Apache. There are some really nice instructions for. It's not popping up here. You're kidding me, right? ASP.NET Core Apache. There's some great instructions for it. Here it is. Host ASP.NET Core on Linux with Apache. And you can take a look about how to configure and do that reverse proxy right here in the docs. Right? It was actually updated just a few months ago. Catch you later, Adam. Thanks for joining us here this morning. There were plenty of kind of related to MS talks at Build, like Angular and Node.js. I thought Blazor would fall into that category. No, the tall pants. Our concern with Blazor is it's experimental. It's very much a project, and we want to make sure that folks don't think that it's a fully supported product. So that was the decision that my leadership and I backed by not including Blazor at Build. Can you give a short list of extensions you use for .NET in Visual Studio Code? I'm currently stick to Visual Studio because I'm missing some basic IDE features. Thanks for the question, Conrad Reuter. Let's go over here. I'll show you the extensions that I use. I'm using the .NET Core Test Explorer so I can run my tests and see the results in a panel here. Of course, C#. It looks like I've got a reload to do here. Let's do that real quick. VS Code can do that. Yes, Camranicus. Great reference there. My friend Burke Holland built that website, vscodecandothat.com, and it has all kinds of tips and tricks for how you can use Visual Studio Code more as a web developer, as a JavaScript developer, but there's all of those tips apply to .NET developers as well. I use editor config in here as well, CSS support, the mono debugger, the NuGet package manager, VS Live Share. VS Live Share is tremendous to have in code. Now that Visual Studio Live Share is in a public preview, anybody can sign up, anybody can host or join live share sessions, free and easy out there on the web. So check that one out. I use WordPress Snippet because sometimes I do some WordPress development here on my Mac. So they recommend installing PowerShell and Cake scripts. I don't typically use Cake here, but you may decide to. Do I have an extension for code formatting? It does a lot of that for you automatically here in VS Code. So don't really need to go into that. How do I debug my code? Does Visual Studio Code have debugging support? That's a question from Spawn Hub TV. Thanks for the question, Spawn Hub. I appreciate you joining us here today. Let me show you. Inside of Visual Studio Code, there is a debugger, and check it out. It's this cool bug with a line through it, and you can debug Node.js applications, and you can debug.net. I believe there's also debugger support for other tools and languages as well. Those are the two that I primarily use, but I can click and it will start debugging my project, StreamTools CS Proj here, and start running. You'll see this in just a second. It'll bump over to my browser. Lots of debugging options in VS Code. Yep, absolutely. Good morning, Lopada21. Good evening, wherever you may be. Tall Pants says you should also give JetBrains Rider a try if you insist on having an IDE-like experience on Linux or Mac. Yep, that's out there. Visual Studio for Mac is also available. I do have a request out to Michaela from the Visual Studio for Mac team and we can certainly look at having her walk us through some features here. Rider is solid if you want ReSharper too. Yes. So Rider is built by the folks at JetBrains, and they have they effectively built an IDE around ReSharper is what they're doing. So my debugging session actually crashed here because I don't have everything installed, and I don't have my .NET SDK up to date here. So let me make sure that I go get all of that appropriately here. If I do a .NET, what was it? List SDKs? Is that right? There we go. So my preview 2 is here. 300 preview 2. Let me go over here and go to get. Go to not got. .net. I can download it. Let's see here. There's Azure Friday episodes of Visual Studio Live Share. Yes, there are. Alright, I'm going to go to download here. Mac OS. I want the .NET Core SDK. I don't want that one. I want the latest RC right here, the SDK. Which should also then give me the runtime. Come on, I should get the... Yeah, okay, come on. I want the installer. I don't need to take the survey because I'm one of the folks behind the survey. Thanks for downloading. Where'd it go? There we go. Save file. Good deal. Here we go. If you build Azure functions, you can debug those as well. Yes, and Visual Studio Code has great support for that. I like Visual Studio Code, though, because it's just a text editor with extensions, not a full-fledged and opinionated IDE. And you know what? You can add features to make it more opinionated in the direction that you're more interested in. Visual Studio, with the new installer and its concepts of workloads, we've attempted to reduce that amount of opinionated construction to it, so that you can really pull in and make it your own. And push more features in as extensions that you can use as you see fit. Code formatting, for instance. Something prettier for JavaScript and TypeScript would be nice. Yeah, it formats C# code out of the box. Try.net is a different project, Janescu. Try.net is actually a project. Try.net is actually a project to allow you to run some code right in your browser. Right? So the idea with this is that I'm running my code here in the browser. I have nothing installed, and I can learn easily C# and a little bit of .NET. And we're working on that. There's a great effort to make that something that folks can learn with a little bit more easily. All right, let's kick off and install our new SDK here. Continue. Yeah, go ahead, put it down. That's fine. Do it. I want my SDK. I sound like Dire Straits and I want my MTV. No, I want my SDK. And Docker is still trying to start 20 minutes after I restarted it. You can even turn on Format on Save flag in your settings. Yes, absolutely. There we go. That's why I use a .editor config script. Right, I have an editor config script up here. It is there. And, right, I can force it to format a little bit more nicely here. And Visual Studio Code will enforce that. Come on, finish up here. So it won't do anything if I don't have an .editor config. No, it will. It will. The .editor config will help enforce that on other machines as well. There's a ton of artifacts on my stream video. That's a lot of jitter and tearing too. Yeah, it feels like the Mac is being a little, Yep, move that to trash. You know what, let me scale down. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's see if I can do that without breaking everything. Scaled. Let's see if I can push this down to 720. Oh no! Alright, it's showing up. There we go. Maybe that'll behave a little bit nicer for us. What do you think? Let me know. Send that Mac to Louis Rossman. Who's Louis Rossman? Let's see what we get here. Alright. Now everything's like super gigantic. Alright. That's a little bit better. Let's back off the font size on this one. There we go. Mac repair guy. I don't think I need a repair. I created a .cs file and enabled format on save. I also have the C# extension installed. Now I'd expect VS Code to format, but it doesn't. Saturday mornings are a little bit easier to tune in while I have coffee. I'll have to tune in more. Have a good day. Thanks for joining us, Cameronicus. He's the YouTube repair guy who's mad that Apple won't let people repair their own computers. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright, let's go into here. Well, that feels bad. I want to be in there. Cool. And then if I do .NET version, there I've got the RC showing up now. So let's try that debug one more time that we were talking about earlier. So it's going to do the build. Mac Fritz, your McDonald's burger, what wear hats? No. Bad joke. Bad. Sorry. Alright, there we go. Build succeeded. Terminal will be reused by tasks. Press any key to close it. Yes. Here we go. And Docker finally crashed over on my Windows machine. Alright, here's what I'm going to do on Windows. Maybe we can finally get this running. Let's see. See, and I can tell my... Yeah, the Surface won't let me set it to full power. Nice. Nice. Thanks. Thanks so much for playing. No. Now my Surface is not responding. Well played. That makes me feel wonderful. Let's zoom out there a little. Alright. And to be frank, this is exactly the problem that my friend Amanda Silver ran into at Build when she was trying to give her demos. Everything kind of locked up on her. I'm going to start the Hyper-V emulator here on Windows and see if I can jumpstart this. Alright, while that's going, let's take a look-see here. So here's the website, it's running, and I'm not getting any, I should see, no, those are Visual Studio ones. I'm not seeing the information from the web server output here. That's interesting. But I can still click around here, and I can see my application running. Yeah. Okay, I need to select a font. Go away. Something's broken here in our project. And Windows is in the midst of crashing. Yeah. This isn't going well over on Windows. Alright. But I'm debugging and I'm in my application. So to answer the question earlier, how do I debug? I'm now running in debugging, and I've got the latest version of the SDK here running on my machine. Now, this is also saying that I can remove the .NET CLI tool references for any of these other packages. They're now included as global tools in my project. So let's return to this here. And I'm going to show you inside the CSproj file. Right? There were .NET CLI tool references, and it looks like we've already removed those. The first time experience on the configuration is not that great. You're correct. I completely agree. We need to clean that up. So there were, I think we can, that's better. No, there we go. What I can now run without actually having to install anything, I can run the watch command here, and this will watch the project. Fix the error continues. Error finding the watch items project file. Ah, you know what? I'm at the root here. I need to go down into. Now I can .NET watch run. So watch is now just available for you. And I can tell it to watch the project, and if there are any changes in those C# files, it will appropriately kick off a rebuild and allow us to interact with the application, quickly and easily. And because of all the cool things that they've done inside of our project here, inside of the application, the compiler is amazingly fast. So watch, if I go localhost 5000, this starts, and I think John's right. If you go to that configuration page to start, it's kind of brutal here. Current value, set it to something like that. Preview. It's taking its good old time loading here. That's a problem. That's not something I'm enjoying here. So, actually, it looks like some of our JavaScript isn't behaving. Cannot access lexical declaration N before initialization. La-di-da. This thinks we're in production. I'm not in production. I want to be in development, my development. .all should change to .app, and you should lose the version on that line. Let me come back to you there. Let's do... I'm still seeing some of those artifacts on the video. Yeah, look at that. Let me set the yeah, I know. ASP.NET Core environment equals development. And now if I watch again, now it should tell me we're in development mode. And it's going to be back there, back behind my head. Say it. All right. So now should get a little bit more information as to what that error is. No. But I'm also not getting. That's better. Fill font color, let's make that like that. So now the SMAB is saying we should change the .all to .app. Let's in your project file, change any reference to .app and add additional packages as needed to restore your required dependency graph. I'm okay with that. So we're going to change this to... Now I've saved that, and our watch statement here is saying, oh, that file changed. Let's restart here. It was mentioned in either the blog or one of the sessions. Yep. So now here, look, some of these things were broken. So let's go put in some of those fixes. So here, app use browser link. I'm not actually using browser link as part of this at all. So let's get rid of that. Now, some of the other things that it says to do here, it says these are the recommended code-based idioms that are recommended. Yeah, okay. Rename build web host to create web host builder and change its return type to iWebHostBuilder. And instead of calling build here, it says to call web build web. Yeah. This feels like just moving things. For the sake of moving them. But whatever. That's the way they're recommending to do it. In Startup CS, services, add MVC, set compatibility version. Like this. Now the compatibility version will allow us to apply patches and ensure that we maintain stability between those patch versions. So that is up here where we add MVC, which is actually down inside this method now. So I can use F12 to jump over to this execute method, and I'm going to jump over here. There's my add MVC. And I'll paste set compatibility version. Yep, it wants... Right. If I control... There it is. Alright, so that's fixed. Where did my chat room just go? It literally disappeared. I was watching the chat room and it disappeared. You're kidding me. Yeah, chat literally died. Okay. In the configure method, add a call to add HSTS middleware. Let's do that. Over in the configure method of startup. put it here. In configure, add a call to HTTPS redirection middleware. Yep, let's do that too. Open the project property pages in the debug enable SSL checkbox. So I am not on a Mac, so I can't do that. I'm on a Mac, I'm not on Windows. I can't do that. In your project file, change any references to all to .app. Yep. So I'm not going to do this. Dual asks, are you switching to Mac or just using your MacBook at the moment? So this is part of a feature that I'm trying to do throughout the month to demonstrate and show that .NET on Mac runs very nicely, and I want to learn how to be a better .NET citizen on a Mac. So I'm working on that. Hang on. There we go. So this is something that I'm trying to learn how to do, and sharing that experience with you as well. Let's see here. Go back to this. Yes, I succeeded. Oh, good. What did you succeed at, Conrad? All right. It appears that only C# files inside projects can be formatted. Oh, you're not going to get C# files interacting with the debugger unless they are in a project format. What things do you like, dislike on it? Do you have better productivity, etc.? So on the Mac, Docker's more stable. I could talk about that till I'm blue in the face. Yeah, what can I tell you? I am plenty annoyed at Docker today. And that's just the way it's going to be for me. And the VM interaction on Windows 10 is just brutal. With Docker. So this is I think much easier to do. The integrated Kubernetes here looks and feels a lot easier than what really it's yeah, it just feels like a kludge over here on Windows. And that's me being perfectly frank. I don't, you know, I can't make this up how poor this experience is, and you're seeing it live on stream here. I mean, I can't make this up, you know. And the VM won't even let me turn it off here. There it goes. I find that on the Mac also, the whole swipe side to side to get between maximized projects makes me dizzy. They're overthinking this here. You know what I mean? So there's that. Otherwise, the Mac I find just to be a little bit more, a lot more expensive machine that does a lot of the exact same things that I can do on Windows. Windows subsystem for Linux, could I run Docker on it? I don't know about that. No, it doesn't work. Okay. But I wouldn't say that the Mac makes me more productive than being on Windows. It's choice, you know. But the Mac, but there's a certain amount of status around having and carrying a Mac laptop. But you can connect to the Docker running under Windows. Yes, but you have to get it running under Windows to start with. It almost never runs running Windows on a Mac while running the Windows side virtually. So I have two machines here, to be clear. So we'll see if this starts up and runs properly this time. So, but there is definitely a prejudice in the open source community against Windows. Surface is less overpriced than MacBooks. I think Surface is a nice device. As a higher end device, it's not bad. It's been pretty good for me. But I am fighting with it. What is the difference between the two Visual Studio versions that I have? Is that Dude for Mang? Dude Mang? Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right there. So Visual Studio 2017 is the full IDE. It runs in Windows, and it's intended to be an IDE, right, an integrated development environment, and do all kinds of other things like profiling and unit testing, and have integrated, you know, high-end tools for working with other features. Oh, okay. And versus Visual Studio Code, the version that I have here, this is really intended to be a text editor first. Now, I do also have Visual Studio for Mac installed here, and I haven't run it only because I haven't been keeping it up to date. So it's probably going to come up here and say, oh, you need to install, update, so-and-so. So we'll see. Preview. Here's some projects I've been demoing and showing. Come on. It's going to tell me that there's an update out there. Check for updates. We haven't seen you do anything other than .NET on the Mac and web browsing. Well, yeah, see, here it is. Well, what else would you like to see me do on a Mac? Why won't Microsoft ever release Visual Studio for Linux? Well, we released Visual Studio Code for Linux, and the fact of the matter is the majority of folks who want a Visual Studio on Linux don't want all of the high-end features. They would rather have an open source editor, text editor that they can extend, and you can and enhance in any way that they would like, much like they do with VI or Vim. So that's the experience that folks in the Linux community have expressed that they want. They don't want a full Visual Studio, so you won't see a full Visual Studio. We haven't seen... tomorrow you got to go to some conference and do some work while traveling. What do you take with you, MacBook or Surface? If I could only take one machine, I take the Surface. The MacBook is... There's integrated things that I have that I need there. Oh, thank you for the follow, Dude Mang. I appreciate the follow, and it's nice talking to you there in the chat. Is there any profiling solution that works well with VS Code? I don't know. Yeah, VS for Mac is a little bit... It's a little ways off here. I haven't, like I said, I haven't installed some of the updates. But we'll let that run. But I did do a bit of C# development over here in Visual Studio Code when we were on with Bill Wagner a couple days ago, and worked out nicely. So I want to check and make sure that I have all of my SignalR features working properly now. Let's take a look at this. Did that restart? It did. It should be answering on. Yes, of course it's not secure. That's fine. Add an exception. That's fine. So this looks like it's still working properly with that SignalR. What about Rider? Have I worked with it? I have not worked with Rider yet. Rider's written by the folks at JetBrains. They're positioning it as a competitor to Visual Studio, which then puts me in a very awkward position with my employer. Because if I were to use Rider here on stream, there are folks that would be quite unhappy. Some of my colleagues who have talked about Rider on their podcasts or on their blogs have they've gotten a little bit of nasty grams from the Visual Studio team because they were talking about Rider. I think Rider is a very good thing because it means that Visual Studio now has a competitor. For the longest time, Visual Studio is the only game in town if you want a high-end IDE that's built and maintained by a company and really innovating and investing in it. To have a competitor that's going to push and encourage more innovation, more new features, more aggressively, means that we as developers will all end up winning at the end. I think you'll use the SignalR service in Azure. So what Aspiring DevOps Guru is referring to is there is a new service on Azure that will allow you to scale your SignalR capabilities easily and quickly. Oh no. Sure, go ahead. So it looks like we need to update some extensions here. Where's the extensions in here? I forget where they put extensions in Visual Studio for Mac. There they are. Updates. No updates available. Alright. So, that's Visual Studio for Mac. Like I said, I don't use it because I prefer to use Visual Studio Code. But let's see here. But SignalR service is definitely something that I think I will end up using, but I don't think I need it for this project. The one thing that we did learn and that I want to make sure that I address here is that our package, here it is, the client for SignalR should match, the version number should match the version number of ASP.NET. So I'm going to cut this and see if we can get, there we go, get the RC version. So I will save that, and it should allow us now to do an npm install and get the latest version of it. Wrong folder. Let's fix that. Alright. So we'll get the new version there. Isn't using a Mac whilst a Microsoft employee technically a crime? Oh, Spawn Hub, if you only knew. Just about everybody on the Xamarin team at Microsoft uses a Mac. Just about everybody on the ASP.NET team, so the team that's building the web tools and services, uses a Mac because they need to make sure that it works on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So, and actually, the folks that are writing the .NET SDK, this .NET command line, that tool uses a Mac. So it's going around. It's not a problem, and we're actually encouraging more of our engineers to use it so they can get that testing and that ability to work on Mac and learn and see how other developers work. Integrating it into an app I've been working on, looking forward to seeing how it works. I think SGWAD is referring to the SignalR service in Azure. It's a great backplane, runs amazingly well. I encourage you to check it out. If you need a backplane like that, right, and that means it'll scale out. Working for Microsoft wearing a Linux mascot hat, yes, and coding on Mac, absolutely. WTF blub, yes. It's not your father's Microsoft. It's not Bill Gates' Microsoft. We've definitely evolved. All right, let's see what else we got here. Full VS has come a long way. It has, and it's been interesting being a part of the last two full releases, Visual Studio 2015 and 2017. I've been personally involved with both of those. The free tier has plenty of usefulness for my company. Good, glad to hear that. Visual Studio is pretty good at adding new features on its own. My guess is that where they'll get pushed is removing even more friction around the dev experience. Yes, I completely agree. New installer has made a huge improvement, and we've got ideas for how to make it even better. So I hope we'll get a chance to see that soon. I'm taking a look at Docker now on Windows to see what's the latest happening here, and it is floundering. I'm telling it to restart, and it's not going anywhere. All right. So I've updated. I now have the correct new version of the .NET, the ASP.NET SignalR client. So let's talk about that briefly here. This isn't going to pull it in on its own, is it? No. I'm going to need to force a restart. Let's see if we can do that. Because if I force the restart, Docker pains with Fritz. Yeah, you aren't kidding. Let's see, this watch start, so when it runs, it should redeploy it, and I don't think it did, but I'm not too concerned. There we go, it reconnected. So, install time, solution load times, better control of where you can install the app yourself. Yeah, absolutely, those are all huge things there for us. So that's working properly now. Alright, I'm happy with that. Razor UI class library template, I don't want to talk about that. Test infrastructure. This is, here, let's talk about this. SignalR updates. Message Pack Protocol was renamed. Big deal. JavaScript, TypeScript, Client Hub Connection API changed to use the Hub Connection Builder. Okay. Sticky sessions are now required when using WebSockets transport unless the skip negotiation flag is set to true. I don't think I use any of those features. Let's take a look-see up here in, not hubs, where is it? Root. And in our JavaScript, so the JavaScript that we wrote is sitting here inside this file, and this is where it knows how to connect and use SignalR. I have a rather old machine. I've been able to install 2017 Enterprise Edition on it, and it actually runs. Hey, that's great, President. Not sure. I don't think that would have been the case with older versions. No, I completely agree. Alright, so what this is doing... No, I'm just creating a new hub connection and letting it negotiate and do all of that stuff on its own. So SignalR, in case you haven't followed along if you're not familiar with it, SignalR is a library that lets us have a live connection effectively using WebSockets as a preferred protocol, interacting with a web server that's hosted in ASP.NET. So it has this JavaScript client that we can use under this SignalR library, and it works very nicely. A lot of folks have been quite successful with it. Oh my gosh, this says Docker is running. Oh my gosh, did it actually start after 2.5 hours? I don't know. No, it didn't actually start. It says Docker is running, but I can't get a network connection to it. Try restarting it one more time. Chat widget would be cool for stream tools as we have chat client now. I think you're right. There's definitely something cool that we can do there. Let's talk about some of the features that we've put into here and figure out where we want to go next with this. So let's actually, what's that say? Exiting. What error? What error did it have? It's not telling me anything more. That feels wonderful. Let's commit the changes. Let's take care of that real quick. So that's deleted. Yeah. All right. Updated to ASP.NET Core 2.1 RC. Yes, always stage them. Go. All right, and let's push those changes. Push. Yep, to Git. Oh, not this again. Yeah, no. No. Can I just push? All those great... Remember I spent all that time working on getting this working, and no. Nope. Oh, man. Here's something I don't like about the Mac. The Git tools don't remember my SSL going out here. Why is that watch coming up? Go away. Let's take a look-see at... isn't it in the Git folder? And I should be able to see... Right. Well, there you go. My origin is an HTTPS instead of using my client certificate. Amish Dev asks, how do I vet which node packages to use? I don't go through and vet them myself. I wait for folks to tell me this is I do it word of mouth, folks to tell me this is what you should be using, because it is a weird, wild world out there of node packages, and I don't think... Yeah, it now includes an auditing tool, but I think the next big hack is going to end up coming in through NPM. We've already seen devastation to that environment because of the left pad issue. And I think folks really need to get their heads around there needs to be an audited, confirmed, and tightly managed base class library on NPM, because there's a base set of things that everybody should be able to use and rely on that I don't think folks realize how easily it could be tipped over, and there could be some real problems there. So this is what I want to use, right? Not that URL. All right. I'm going to do something a little strange. I'm going to VI into that. Yes, the NPM disaster was rough. NPM acquired the node security project. Good. Let's see where they go with it. So I'm going to change this URL. And hopefully I didn't just break everything. There it goes. Good. All right. So now I've got that update done and pushed, so it now runs on ASP.NET Core 2.1. But let's look at these pull requests. Oh my gosh, somebody got the scoreboard. Patrick has the scoreboard working. Really? And then we've got, oh, there we go, SGWatt. You moved things into using fetch. And, yes. Oh, I did want to look at this. And making these revealed features. Let's take a look, see how you change this. Yeah, changed it from XHR to using that fetch syntax. And I do like the new fetch syntax, right? Fetch this, then do that, then do this, instead of having to check the ready state and wait and see what's going on. This feels like a no-brainer to merge. I really like it, and I really appreciate the effort there. I'm going to bring up the command line instructions. And let's go fetch this. Now I got to remember, which way is my terminal? Is it to the right or is it to the left? I think it's to the right. There we go. So I'll go get that. Oh. I mean, are you kidding? I mean, this is the carriage return line feed issues that I've been running into. F4. Oh, come on. It was, what was it? F4 something. F4 Charlie Dog. All right, good. Now it's clean. Carriage return line feed hell. The other billion-dollar mistake, maybe. Yes. Thank you for the follow. Is that Engel Zulski? I appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday. I got GPG signing of Git commits working yesterday, so I get the nice verified sign on my commits on GitHub. Nice. Nice hat. I'm fired. No. We like Linux here at Microsoft now. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing. But the carriage return line feed hell is a pain in the ass. What's a good way to fix that? Is there somebody out there with a good tip for fix carriage return line feed with Git? More like nice hat, you're hired. A little bit. We've been hiring some Linux folks a lot. Worldwake, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. 3 modes. Git config core auto CLRF. Let's try that. And now if I git pull. All right. Let's try pulling in that fetch. That's so fetch. Nope. Can I get a job at Microsoft now? You know what? There's lots of folks that are Linux folks, that are Mac folks, that are getting jobs at Microsoft, yes. My git config settings in my user directory can be updated. Let's take a look-see at that. Let's do vi on git. Yeah. Core auto CLRF equals true. All right, let's go to the end. Open a line after this. I finished the 8-hour workshop all in one day. We want more. You're going to get more on Friday with a C# workshop. And that will be awesome. Let's try this. I'm going to follow what SG Watt is saying here with the auto CRLF. Let's see if that helps. Not a Git repository. Oh, duh. Fritz, Stream Tools. That's fine. Let's try that. Nope. Let's see what else it suggests here for us. If core auto CLRF is set to true, that means that anytime you add a file to the Git repo that Git thinks is a text file, turn all CRLF endings to just line feed it stores in the commit. Whenever your Git check out something, all text files automatically will have their line feed, line endings converted to carriage return line feeds. This allows development of a project across platforms that use different line ending styles without commits being very noisy because each editor changes the line ending style. Blah, 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 blah. The side effect, and this is the warning you're seeing, is that if a text file authored originally had line feed endings instead of carriage return line feed, it'll be stored as line feed as usual. That one is going to be glorious. It is. Will Microsoft's new Linux distro be something like Red Hat Enterprise Linux or RHEL? Microsoft will give support to clients, etc. Yes, we will be giving support to clients who use, what's it called? Azure Sphere? Azure IoT Sphere? Git suggests adding a Git attributes with file with the line star text equals auto. Let me find that. Most Git attributes has star text equals auto. What is the point of that? The path is marked for automat. All right, so that's in the repository. Do I have one? I do. Got it. I think that's Azure Sphere, so maybe IoT Edge stuff only. Right, but you're going to see support for that. That's pretty interesting. How much is it after the trial? What trial? Amish Dev, what are you referring to? What trial? Azure Sphere shouldn't have a trial. I didn't think it had a trial. Secured. Cloud security. Excuse me. Not sure. I don't see anything about a trial. But the idea is that there are customers, there are folks out there that do want to be able to build a secured, very secured Linux solution on IoT devices. Certified module product. Ah, okay. Yep. All right. So I'm still going to be running into this issue. Do I do the merge, take the bullet? Do I do the merge, take the bullet, and fix those line endings here on the Mac, and then just deal with it? Level 2 asks, why Mac if C#? Why not? If that's your preference, we want to be able to support that, right? Maybe change it from text auto to text EOL equals CRLF. Let's give it a shot. And now I will pull. Nope. Conflict. Git will always convert the line endings to CRLF on checkout. You should use this for files you must keep carriage return line feed endings, even on OS X or Linux. VS Code tells you the line endings you are using, and you can change them by toggling. Maybe you can toggle, commit, and then pull. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. If your repo doesn't have line endings configured already and you have files in there, then you have to reset your Git index and it will see whole files as changes still. Ooh. Okay. Good seeing you, aspiring DevOps guru. Take care. Help GitHub articles dealing with line endings. Oh. That looks like a winner. Help GitHub articles dealing with line endings. There we go. Let's start with that. I'm going to do that. Hang on. There we go. Let me do that reset. Okay. It's pronounced OS 10. Wrong. Wrong. I have called Mac support. They call it OS X. I have been in that argument with folks at the Mac store, and I talked to folks at Mac support. It is OS X. That's what their people at corporate call it. Boom is right, level 2. You can run .NET Core on a Mac. Yes. All right. I liked what SG Watt was saying, but let me go up and do that git pull. Yeah. So what are the line endings in the repo and what are the line endings on the hard drive? The problem is pulling a remote and merging it with the local repo. That's correct, WorldWake. Yep. So let's read through this. Declares files that will always have carriage return line feeds, like a .sln file, which is a Visual Studio Solution file. Text auto, text EOL equals CRLF. Git always converts line endings to carriage return line feed on checkout. Right, I thought that's what we had. You talked to one person at Mac support that called it X. It was 10 when it started, and every Mac person I've talked to in the last 20 years says 10. Hey, you know what? I'm telling you what I've heard. I'm telling you what I've heard, and I stick to it. Text EOL. Well, hang on. Text equals auto, EOL equals CRF. I thought we just fixed that. Good afternoon, Brendan. Nope, need to do the git reset first. and then do the pull again. But when I do the pull, oh wait, you know what? When I did the reset, it dropped it. Yeah. Yeah, let's commit that. Trying to fix CRLF. Alright, now let's try the pull. Hello? Nope. The issue is that you already have files in there before you configured this. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I need to fix these files and then recommit, and then we'll be in better shape. So let's do that. Yes, yes. Alright. So I actually want... Here, I want the head. The current change. Yep, I want the current change here as well. Save both of those. Here we are. And it's going to be the same thing all the way down. Come on, show me the little picker. Why isn't it showing me the little picker doodad? Well, that feels bad. Just delete the bottom one. All right. Oh, wait a sec. I need to delete the head marker at the top, don't I? Yeah. All right. And then the other marker. Where's the equals? Where are they? There it is. Oh man, is this annoying, huh? And it... Yeah, it's not letting me get all the way up to the top. No, no, no. Come here. Alright, delete all my local files and check out the complete project again. That's not a bad idea. That feels a heck of a lot easier than trying to do this. Because I'm already kind of reset and all that. Alright. Now go back into the project file, project folder. Alright, let's remove, I think it was just the Stream Tools project folder. And it's these same files again. I think I almost want to clone it again. Refreshing a repository after changing line endings. You mean the next section I was about to get to. After you set core auto CRLF and committed to Git attributes, you may find that Git wants to commit files you have not modified. Yes. The best way to automatically configure is to first back up your files with Git, delete every file in your repository, and then restore all the files at once. So I've already got everything committed. Remove the index and force Git to rescan the working directory. Ooh, all right. So I will do that. Git reset and then git status. Yeah, deleted everything. Spawn Hub, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Add all your change files back and prepare them for a commit. This is your chance to inspect which files, if any, were unchanged. All right, so git add -u. Really? That feels weird. Oh. All right, hang on. Hang on, I think I'm in a weird state here. Let me go back to origin dev. Hang on. I don't want to lose everything here. Let me reset to 6charlie26. All right. Git checkout. I spelled checkout wrong. 6charlie26. No. Git reset hard 6charlie26. Okay. Everything should be good. Head detached. Head detached. All right. Let me do this again. Git add -u. All right. And then commit that. Saving before changing line endings. Now let's remove the git index. Git reset, git status. Okay. Git add -u. Rewrite the git attributes file. Right, and then commit it. Okay, I think we're in a better spot. So let's try to do the merge. Actually, I should be able to just do that. Nope. We are in line feed hell. Or is it because the files that are coming in have that problem also? I think the files that we're merging have that problem also. That would be my guess. And it's not going to allow us to easily change it. got here? And this is really where I wanted to do my changes. Let me go back to the files. And I'm going to have to fight with all of this the whole way. You're freaking kidding me, right? All right. Let's not fight with this. Let me do that reset. Yeah, all that normalization stuff that we tried to do. It is the incoming files. No. And let's just squash and merge. All right. Now that got merged into master. I'm gonna have to pull that down and push it into dev. Ugh. That's not too bad. There it is again. T-Rex hype. Maybe it's the incoming files. No, it's these files. It's these exact same files every time. I hope somebody somewhere feels bad about what's happening with line endings on the stream. I know. This completely rots. Part of me wants to go and just nuke the repository and restart. And that's probably not that bad an idea. And try it again. Because the carriage return line feed stuff is just brutal. The one thing I tell them is that there are ways to solve many things in Git, except for carriage return line feed. So I should have a Git attributes here. Yes. And I should be on dev branch. Yes. Okay. Let's pull master so I get, okay. Go back to dev. It's like deleting node modules and starting over. Yeah, right. Declaring bankruptcy and starting over. I thought I had a Git attributes file in here. Let me get rid of that text auto on it. No, it was, wasn't it that? No. I forget what it was. Try that again. Oh, I did have it right. Forcing to CRLF. All right. Hello? Why aren't you doing anything? Did my keyboard just suddenly die? No. Okay, I've committed that change 2 or 3 times and it doesn't keep it. Okay. And if I get push. Now, how is it behind when I literally had a brand new... have 128 and 2 commits each? I'm not on master. I'm on dev. Oh, wait a sec. This is the biggest pain in the neck. Okay. I want, if I pull now, so that tells me that is my dev branch fixed? Docker still doesn't work. It feels like I have it fixed. Let's take a look at another pull request. So here, SGWatt has same type thing. Now for user secrets and other projects to include root repository files in my solution items, blah, 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 blah. Find the project GUID and the solution file was outdated. It was an old GUID. Oh, added some instructions to README. That's fine. I'm okay with this change. But let's see if I can pull this down and if I don't have this issue. I mean, how do people live with themselves with this? I mean, fixing Git line endings. I destroy by fire and start over. I've done the delete and start over and it doesn't work. It did not work. Here's the gist of it. Echo this into Git attributes. Git add, renormalize, Git status, Git commit. All right, let's look at what's in. Now, it wants text equals auto only in there. Fine. Git add renormalize. Nope. Maybe I need a new version of Git. Am I missing? Good luck, have fun. Yep, thanks. Shoot, how can I forget what the command is to update. Update Git. There's a 292. What version should I be on? What version should I be on? I thought there was like a brew that I could install. Yeah, Homebrew should do this. Simply download the latest Git installer, run the provided uninstall, and install as normal. Yeah, do tell. 2.17.0 and I have 2.9, so I'm way behind. The maintained, released about a month ago. Good. Where is it? I feel bad, like my PRs have put a curse on the repo. No, it's not you. It's not you, it's pointing out how poorly I've maintained character turn line feed endings. Come on, download. Thank you. No. I have to allow this. And then all that nonsense. Yeah, I did. I did pull that. What is it? Package security. I forget where it is in the... Right, because it's not signed. Bargaw cheered. I was able to take
girlfriend for nice dinner and buy gifts for my mother. My life is getting back on the track, Pug Champ.
Terrific! Congratulations, Bargaw. I'm thrilled to hear that. That's That's great to hear. And thank you for the cheer. Of course, I'll match that and we'll make that a nice donation to Girl Develop It so that other folks can learn how to write code, women and underserved minorities. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Bargaw, and congratulations to you. I hope you and your mother have a great Mother's Day. There we go, 2:16:3, so let's try that command again. It did something. It did something. We might be on the right track here. Let's do git status and then git commit. Spell it right, Jeff. That's not all the files that we keep running into. Let's do it, though. Normalizing line endings. Maybe. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Okay. Let's check git attributes again. Actually, wait a sec. We've got a couple of branches hanging out here. Let's get rid of that extra one. SG watt git feat docs user secrets. Okay. See if we can get this to go this time. Do the add renormalize. Git status. I don't think that did anything. No. The original reason I followed this stream was the Git usage, not the .NET. Oh, okay. I think you're pulling my leg there. Xplat isn't easy. You're right. This really isn't working. If you have any files that should be normalized show up in git status, unset their text attribute for running git add u. Text files that Git does not detect can have normalization enabled manually. This leverages a new renormalize flag. For older versions of Git, do this. Yeah, but you know what? It's still not freaking working. Nope. Really? The Git? Okay. And watching just how badly I'm dealing with this. All right. If auto character return line feed is set to false, no line ending conversion is ever performed. So text files are all checked in as is. This usually works okay as long as all your developers are either on Linux or all on Windows. But my experience, I tend to get text files with mixed line endings that end up causing problems. Yes. Okay. Oh dear God, this is such a nightmare. Just fix it. If you already have checked out the code, the files are already indexed. After changing your Git settings, you should refresh the indexes with this. Let's do a git reset hard and then try the rm cached. I think you're dealing with it as well as possible. Well, thank you. Okay, so now I'm forcing the end of line to be carriage return line feed. And now it's saying git rm cached -r dot. Alright. And then rewrite the git index with git reset hard. Did that do anything? I'm in the wrong branch. I'm in the wrong frickin' branch again. And did it work? Docs user secrets. So did it work? Did it reset everything? Nope. And let's get rid of SG Watt. Get feet docs user secrets. I'm just going to squash and merge at this point. And declare bankruptcy on this. Thanks for the contribution. Next one. So 4 files changed. Now you removed the API key up here. Where did you put it back in? Oh, you put it down in here. All right. And you're bringing in the module. Now, this is the first of the ones where I really want to see I want to see this. I want to actually participate and look at this and run this. Now it says there's a conflict here. There's a couple of conflicts. I think I'll take yours. And you're merging these into master. I haven't touched these since. All right, now I should be able to pull it. Yeah, we need to merge into dev. Yeah, this feels like the changes now inside of your branch has the wrong line endings now. So I'm going to confirm this. Did I spell checkout right? Nope. And I've got... Part of me wants to open this on a Windows machine and just clobber the whole thing. And I can't pull in the changes without hitting that conflict. Oh man. When I get up from the desk and go outside or something. You're not kidding. Git clone. Git checkout master. Okay, more on Git attributes. Okay, let's go do the line ending fix on the master branch. Right, this. Let's do this one more time here, and then hopefully when I do my git pull, I won't continue to run into this. Git status. Yes, those are the files that I've been having problems with. Oh, you are on Linux. Yes, I am. I'm on Mac. Actually. Fixing line endings. Didn't see the apple. Oh yeah. That looks like it may have fixed it. Okay, git checkout. Fluffy Cobra, thank you for the follow. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Git merge master. Now that's not as many files, but it's the same damn merge conflict. The only one that's really here is this add. Let's reset this. All right. More on get attributes. It's got the wrong content. Even though I pushed, I'm going to do the exact same thing here. Oh, wait a sec. Nothing changed. Nope. Nope. What do you think, team? This is not going well. And if I look at these, it's the entire damn file. What if I did this? Let's think this through. I haven't pushed up dev in a while. Nuke it. Yeah, I think you're right. Let me push dev up. I clicked new pull request. Oh. Oh. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I thought we had merged all of this. Yeah, nuke. Time to nuke again. I think you're right. Wrong button. Yeah. All right. So I'm in the dev branch. Okay. If I did a git merge from dev. Oh! What does VS Code tell you about the line endings in those files? Let's take a look. That's a fine question. Well, that's an ad. We're okay on that one. There's our first conflict. Ba-boom. Line feed, not character return line feed. Maybe you can change them then and then merge pull. Let's give that a shot. Okay. Don't save. Alright, so I'm okay on these. It's these ones down here. So let's do a git reset. Okay, so now I have my list. Yeah, SG, keep a list of the ones causing conflicts. So let's start with Fritzbot. Right, so I've got a red here. Where's the red file? It's not telling me. Where is it? All right. And then why is that one in? Oh. All right. If I do git status, everything's clean. So I'm going to go to fritz.chatbot fritzbot. Here. Okay, so this is telling me it's carriage return line feed. Dustbringers, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. So if I click this, I could change it to line feed here. Right, what is it on the good files? That's a very good question. Let's try over here. This is carriage return line feed. And it's UTF-8 with a byte order mark. If I come over here, UTF-8 carriage return line feed. So it's the same in both locations here on disk. Hello! So you'd have one command where you manually change it for those files. Keep the list of the ones causing conflicts. So it doesn't look like, right? If I try like this file over here, it's carriage return line feed. But wait a sec, it was UTF-8 with a byte order mark. Is it the byte order mark? I think that first file is a normal conflict. No, actually. Both added. All right. You know what? Let's run with that. Let's look at program CS in Stream Tools. UTF-8 with byte order mark, carriage return line feed. It's the byte order mark. I think it's the byte order mark. Right? Let me take a look at the solution file. UTF-8 with byte order mark. Oh yeah, I don't care right now. That is interesting. Hey, is that Average Joe? We're dealing with a weird set of conflicts here between Git files, right? Files that are saved in a Git repository I was working on Windows, but I'm now using my Mac. And it doesn't look like a carriage return line feed thing. It looks like, yeah, the byte order mark of these things. Let me look at the CS proj file for Stream Tools now. Right? It is there. UTF-8 with byte order mark. I have never seen that before. Next file was, we did program CS, services, Twitch service. That one. Fellows, I think we found our issue. Configure services. UTF-8 with byte order mark. I remember the PR I redid. a byte order mark issue with that as well. I forgot. Yeah, that's weird. App settings JSON and then package JSON. App settings. That one does not have a byte order mark. But in its character return line feed, so we're okay there. The other one was package. Well, we're good there on that. Goal configuration JS and then Google Fonts. Nope, we're good on that. Good on that. All right. Let's do a commit here. Removed byte order mark. You're freaking kidding me, right? I mean, it's literally the exact same files. This doesn't make sense. My branch and origin master have diverged. Let me go down into dev. If I do a git pull here, everything's up to date. Let's delete the master branch. That says it's up to date. Okay. Now when I start to merge dev into it is when I'm going to break things. Right? Right, that breaks. So if we look at chatbot, fritzbot, alright, let's skip that one because we think that one's actually the same. This is a legit change here in program, and I want the current change. Why am I not getting the little... You're kidding me, right? What happened to the tools? If you want to take theirs on all those conflicts, will that resolve it? Yeah, I think I don't think so. I don't think so because I do want the changes. I don't want the changes coming in here. Oh, this is a nightmare. This is going to be really bad. And where did my tools go to automatically do the source code resolution? Where? No, not that one. This one. What is it complaining about? Fine, do your update. Source control can be messy at times. Yeah, I know. I am feeling that in the worst way right now. I mean, this is legitimately just brutal. No, the tool's not there. And it's UTF-8 with byte order mark. But this is a legitimate change where I did include now a chat client dispose. That's a legitimate change. That was a change that Scott and I added. We added regular expressions. And now literally the entire class is marked as broken. But I think I want the incoming one because the incoming one has the detection for image descriptor there. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Where are my other blues? I think we did this one. Yep. These look the same. These are the same. Services add signal R, singleton MVC hub. Oh, look, this one removes add singleton altogether here. Does that work? We'll have to find out. Dub root has inside JavaScript. Goal configuration. I want the incoming change. No. I want the head. Google Fonts, here we go. I want the head here as well. That looks good. All right, keep going. App settings. Look, now they're back. Why oughta. I'm going to accept the current. Cooldown time, Q&A knowledge base ID, and then here's, now we've got vision base. I want the incoming, so we get the vision API that we added. Stream tools. I want the incoming. There we go. Package JSON. Maybe that's causing an issue with Visual Studio. Maybe. I want the incoming here. Program. Incoming on this one. And look, my indicators are gone again. Moving along, I don't see, I've got one more blue down here. Not right now. I'm going to keep the current change. All right. I think that resolved everything. Hey, where did my, there it is. Where'd that come from? That's carriage return line feed. But it's telling me that the line feed will be, the carriage return line feed will be replaced with line feed. Sure did save all those files I changed. We got to get to goal configuration. Let's make sure we save that one. But it's telling me that the carriage return line feed is going to be flipped to a line feed. Okay. So far, so good. So let's look at that last pull request. And then I think we're going to call it a day. Come on, pull requests. I thought I clicked on you. Feature scoreboard. Let's take a look at this. Support for GitHub scoreboard. So, shows the top 5 Git committers on our repositories over the last week, month, all year, or all time. And Patrick offered to take this. All right, let's see what you got for me here, Patrick. Need a vacation after this session. Oh, yes. AU for all. 3 hours have flown by. You're right. You are absolutely right. Added a reference to OctoKit. Display top week, month, ever contributors. Feel free to give advice how to write the link more clearly. All right, we'll take a look at that. 19 files changed here. Configuration to choose repository to follow. Default is C# Fritz Stream Tools. I like the way you're thinking, Patrick. Changed. Remove jQuery. Remote validation. Need reference to jQuery. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Future suggestion. If move jQuery to NPM, we'll be okay. Maybe we need to also move Bootstrap to NPM. I thought we did. This is merging into dev. Okay. GitHub widget, fix formatting. Yeah. Has some conflicts in these couple of files. Let's take a look. All right. So let's take a look at those couple of changes. I'm excited. This looks good. I'm excited. So this isn't in chat. This is really in Stream Tools. So we added a GitHub controller now. Look at that. All right. Doing some queries against it. We may want to cache that. Let's see. Configuration. Hey, we built a configuration page. All right. And then some APIs. That's fine. Let's see. Here's where some changes are. But these look okay. GitHub configuration, GitHub contributor, GitHub information. Cool. And then the pages. Modified admin. Yeah. Rundown. No, I don't care about either of those right now. All right, configure services. And it's marked the entire file has changed. Because it has a byte order mark right there coming in. Was anything added for GitHub here? No. Nope. I'm going to keep the current then. All right. Bundle config, and once again the entire file is broken. But what was it he changed? He said he had some things here for jQuery. Output file name jQuery coming in from node modules. That's the only change that I really see, is this bit right here. So let's make sure we bring over that. Where the heck did it? No. Hang on. Delete that. Where'd it go? I'm going to add another file here to work on. All right. The CS Proj, ASP.NET Core app, that's mine. Yes. Oh, and you added OctoKit. All right, so let's get rid of this. Get rid of all that except for OctoKit. We'll let that come in. I think that's good. Package JSON. I want to actually accept both. And then yank the extra signaler here. Put a comma. Alright. I'm actually feeling pretty good about this one. Let's take a look-see here and do an npm. Need to go down one. npm install. Let's see what we get. And then I'll try to run the project and see what it looks like. Alright, let's take a look-see. I think that was the 4 files that we changed. So let's .NET run. 3, yeah. Oops, wrong folder. Come on. Come on, tell me it works. Tell me it works. And all right. Let's take a look at the page. Localhost 5000. And it bumped me over to 5001. That's correct. All right. So we've got the new GitHub information block here. GitHub contributors information with the ability to configure. Okay. Okay. Unable to resolve service for type OctoKit GitHub client. So it looks like I probably dropped something during configure services during this merge. So let's go back and look at the pull request. Yeah, jump to configure services. There we go. All right. So there was a using for OctoKit that we needed to bring in. We also need to do services configure GitHub configuration. This bit right here. So I will add that here. What else? Services add singleton, new GitHub client. That looks like it. And that's down at about line 35. Still in the execute method, but after adding the Fritz bot. Oops. Services. That looks like it. All right. Let's make sure that's saved. Restart the application. The using, yeah. No, npm wouldn't install OctoKit. NuGet would do that. Huh? I'm not getting any of my C# detection in here. Who was it who was saying that I should do a reload? Since I modified the project file. No suggestions, huh? Now let's try .NET Run. Come on. Come on. It's gonna make you feel good. Right. Okay. The crowd goes wild. Let's see what we get. Okay. Okay. That's easy. What's it actually look like? All right. Now that file has UTF-8 with the byte order mark. Sure, go ahead, restore. You're right. Why did it change like that? I think we can merge. Yeah, I know. I changed some things. Oh, yeah. Let's make sure it still works, and then we'll commit and push. The current viewers, this should count properly for us, right? We should get some counting going on here from SignalR. There it goes. Good. So that's still working. All right. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. I think we can push up, we can merge and push these changes. So I'm going to do a commit, merged branches, and resolved conflicts. And let's close this out. We'll do that. And I need to git push or origin. The templates from new are UTF-8 with the byte order mark. Oh boy. All right, so we have a cool new feature to be able to show who's the right. It's the start of a feature scoreboard. I like this start on the feature the scoreboard. Let's remove the layout. I've merged it, and we can continue to clean it up to make it widget-like. Thanks for the contribution. Cool. Thank you, Patrick. And I think that's all my pull requests at this point. Fantastic. Chat widget to stream controls. Yes. And yeah, I think we're in much better shape. Let's take a look just at the branches real quick. Make sure I'll resolve these offline. Don't have to go through more nonsense with the git merging here. Would you mind if I asked a design question if you're trying to figure out for our senior design project? A little stuck on the best way to do it. It's pertaining to ASP.NET Core and the HoloLens. Fire away, Average Joe. Do your worst. Alright, so everything's cleaned up here. I can close all my open editors. And it looks pretty clean here. Yeah. And if I open my Test Explorer, this should find... should find my test project. Right? It's right there. How do I set my test project? I mean, it's right here. What more do you need? Right? I mean... is it not... yeah, it's showing... right? I mean, that looks fine. Good, Average Joe. Let me know what you got. Should discover it. Nope. Yeah, that feels like a waste. That test project should build, right? No errors. RV Santos, thank you for the follow. Right, .NET Test. This should run. Oh my gosh, excuse me. That's interesting. I'm not sure why it's not working there. XUnit logger log, yeah. Not sure. This is peculiar. You know what? I'm going to throw it in here, and we'll come back and look at this later. But it is 2 o'clock, and I've been fighting with this for the better part of 4 hours. Thank you, everybody that tuned in to watch. Yeah, Average Joe, send over your question. Okay. We're creating a website as well as an application on a HoloLens. The HoloLens will need access to the database to retrieve certain things and confirms login credentials, so I figured to create an API to handle those requests. Okay? Now my question is if I should just have the website and API together. You can do that. That's pretty easy to do. You've seen here, and if you look in the repository for this, I have... what's it got green there on me? I have a website with the API all merged together in one place. So you can do that. So we'll have designated controllers that call the database and return models for the view, and then also have API controllers that will only be used for the HoloLens application, which will return JSON. Yes, you can mix those together. Feels like a good one application endpoint for that. Or if I should only have API controllers that will be used by both the Views and Virtual Reality app that will return JSON for both. So here's what I would suggest, Average Joe. You can do either way. For the purposes of your application, it feels like what would be a good solution is just build one application. Put everything into it, one web application, because it'll get you figuring out how these things work together faster, okay? If this is for a senior design project, just build one web application. There's no reason to have multiple. I would consider creating multiple if I needed to think about microservices and I wanted to structure things such that I needed to scale different parts of your application differently. For example, your login and your security controllers, you're going to want to have, folks are going to log in once and they're not really going to come back to it multiple times, right? They're in at that point. So you don't need to have that answering and scaling as much as you do the APIs for that data you're bringing back for your virtual reality app. So you could, if you were deploying this and had hundreds of folks connecting to your application, have one instance of your security, your login application, and route that appropriately to folks, be able to access all the hundreds of folks that are accessing your APIs, and you may want to be able to scale and have, 5 instances of that application running. However, if this is a senior design project, you're going to have 5, 10 people accessing it concurrently. You could get away with, for scalability reasons, one should be fine. And I would put everything in that one application. It'll reduce the complexity. It means that you won't have to build and manage as many projects then. And more importantly, it gets you closer to done faster because you don't have to consider scalability yet. I might put that in the notes, the design notes for your project, that if we were designing for scalability, if we did want to take a more architecturally, if we did need to expand our architecture, we could refactor the application, the web application, into 2 projects. Random Dude asks, I'm curious, how would you share auth sessions between both in the split scenario? You put the applications behind a front proxy server so that when requests come in and they're going to these, the authentication stuff, you route the requests over to one set of instances, and then you have that same front edge proxy server when the requests come in for the API route over to the farm of things going the other way. So that way, and Random Dude, you can do this really nicely with Kubernetes or something that orchestrates your services. So it'll end up sharing that token and routing back and forth. Dang says MLAG-ZTV. Do you think that was a proper answer? Was that and Average Joe? No problem. I'm more than happy to help you with that type of a question. The only thing that I object to a little bit is I do not want to do your homework. I'm happy to advise you if there's college folks out there that would like some advice as to how to build an application. I'm certainly happy to answer your questions, point you in a good direction, but I will not do your homework. Yeah, what do you think of that, MLAG? Let me know. That was perfect. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Level 2, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. It's been great chatting with you today here in the stream. Yeah, long time ago I was working on what's probably one of the largest websites that's built and managed in the Philadelphia area, that deals with actually teachers and back office services for school districts in North America and around the world. So we learned scalability quickly, trial by fire. So, but I should wrap it up there. Thank you so much, everybody that tuned in, and for having patience here with some of the issues that we've had with Git on stream. Here's what I'd like to do. Let's wrap up by kicking off a raid. Oh, that's a good question there. Oh my gosh, Pimplachek. Great question. Will .NET Core 3 have backward compatibility? Pimplachek, I'm going to give you the same answer that the director of .NET, Scott Hunter, gave me when we asked him about that. If we don't have backward compatibility in .NET Core, I haven't done my job. That is job number one, that you should be able to upgrade to .NET Core 3 easily without having to change much of your code. You should be able to just repoint over to it, recompile, and hopefully it just works. So that's the goal. AU for all, what time do you start Friday? Friday we're looking at starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, that's 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC, and 8 p.m. India Standard Time. And then we're going to go for about 8 hours. Of course, it'll all be recorded and available for you on YouTube. Just like today's stream, I'm going to archive this. I'll record it and ship it over to YouTube. Like I said, thank you everybody for the patience for joining me today. I'm going to kick off a raid over to Dev Chatter so that we all go visit his stream. But thank you so much everybody for joining me. Let's stop the music. Stop the music. There we go. And like I said, we'll see you next time. I'll see you on Tuesday. We'll do some more coding. Hopefully we won't be fighting with GitHub as much then. All right? Thanks so much. We'll see you then.
There, I think. Alright, I think we're fixed now. Let me find out. Let me build real quickly here. Hey, C# Fritz and friends. Welcome, everybody. Welcome